All praises and glory due to the Most High, Yah Yeshua HaMashiach. This is part 2. Shalom Israel, Shalom Judah. Endangered species, Israel and Judah. All right, amongst the Gentile nations, a remnant. Israel and Judah, a remnant amongst the Gentile nations. All right, endangered species. Now, I left off on part 1. I left off on talking about Paul. Okay, how Paul was sent to teach the Gentiles. All right, so Israel of the 12 tribes, Negro descent, okay, are the chosen ones. Jacob is the portion. Israel is going to get the inheritance. All right, Israel and Judah. And I said that in the first part, all right, pertaining to Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 9, and Isaiah chapter 45 verse 4, and Isaiah chapter 65 verse 9 precepts. Okay, so all these Gentile nations is going to cleave on to Israel. Now there's going to be a remnant of the Gentile nations, start with Esau, Edom, and they're going to serve Israel, okay, and the kingdom. Okay, they're going to be strangers that's going to serve us. All right, so this is our job, our duty, to teach the Gentiles, because it's going to be a remnant. It's good for them to hear the word. It's our job to teach them the word, because it's going to be a remnant of them that get saved. All right, and Paul was put to death. Okay, Apostle Paul, Apostle Stephen was put to death. All right, stoned and put to death. Apostle Peter, James, John, and etc., my great prophets, okay, because of the truth he was exposing. We had wicked 2/3 then, we got wicked 2/3 now, okay. Now, Romans chapter 9 verse 24. This was Paul was saying, okay, even us, whom he have called, not of the Jews only. The Jews are the Israelites, okay, are the tribes. All right. It says, even us, whom he have called, not of the Jews only. We was all called Jews at that time. But also of the Gentiles. But also of the Gentiles. Okay. Now listen to this. 25. As he said also in OC, Salakia, as he said also in OC, I will call them my people. He will call them his people, the Gentiles, okay, the remnant, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not my beloved. 26, Romans chapter 9, verse 26. And it should come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there should they be said, the children of the living God. Okay? And Esaias also cried of concerning Israel, through the number of the children of Israel, be as the sand of the sea. A remnant should be saved. So a remnant. All right? And then after the 1,000 years, Esau, Edom, serving us, you know, the 1,000-year millennium of the Son of Man establishing his kingdom, that reign for 1,000 years millennium, Esau, Edom is going to be cut off. Once Satan loosed out for a certain season, then Satan is going to be, he's going to be destroyed, and Esau, Edom is going to be cut off the face of the planet Earth. There will be no remainings pertaining to Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18. And then if the Father is going to establish and set his kingdom up, his kingdom is going to be a forever, ever, everlasting kingdom. Okay? Now, going into Amos chapter 9. Let's get Amos chapter 9. Got to make this pretty quick. They got me under this shadow ban. I got 5 channels. They got me under shadow ban, so they won't allow me to do long lessons. Sometimes they give me 15 minutes. Sometimes they give me 26 minutes. I don't know why. And I got other channels, and they terminated 3 of my channels. Over 1,000 videos, lessons gone. But I got most of them lessons I'm starting to download on Rumble. I got a Rumble and Vimeo account, and got 5 YouTube accounts. Okay, this is Amos chapter 9, and we're going to start at 11. We're going to start at 10, okay? The remnant. We're going to get to the remnant of Esau. All the sinners of my people should die by the sword, which say the evil should not overtake nor prevent us. Okay, that's the 2/3 of our own people. Speaks of Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. That's going to be cut off. And then you got 2/3 of the Gentile nations. The heathens going to be cut off. But you also got a remnant that's going to be saved amongst the Gentile nations. Okay? Amos chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacles of David that is fallen, and close up the branches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Okay? So to close up the branches thereof, that's bringing all the 12 tribes together and redeeming us, building us up, regenerating us. You know what I'm saying? Redeeming us, building us up, bringing the 12 tribes together. Okay, and I get to Isaiah chapter 11, Lord willing. Amos chapter 9, verse 12. That they may possess the remnant, see? That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that do this. So starting with Esau, Edom, the remnant of Edom, there's going to be a remnant. And the rest of the races of the Gentile nations, ethnicities. Okay? Amos chapter 9, verse 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. Who is the plowman? The plowman is the meek. Okay, the children of Israel. All right? Of the Negro descent, the 12 tribes of the bloodline from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? Those who are in captivity and bondage. All right? The lowly, long-suffering, forbearing, the meek. The plowman shall overtake the reaper. The reaper are the oppressors, the nobles. Okay? And the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountains should drop sweet wine, and all the hills should melt, because coming up them ICBM missiles, coming off them chariots. All right, the Lord of hosts, chariots of fire, chariots of the Most High, Yah Yeshua Hamashiach, chariots of Israel. All right, it's going. The mountains represents their kingdoms. It's going to melt their whole kingdom. And Amos chapter 9, verse 14. And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they should build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they should plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. Okay? And I will plant them upon their land, and they should no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord thy God. All praises and glory due to the Most High, Yah Yeshua Mashiach. So let's go to Isaiah right quick. 14. So they're going to serve us, and we're going to take them as captives, like we was their captives. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. Let's get it. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers should be joined with them, and they should cleave to the house of Jacob. Okay, they're going to serve us. We're going to have strangers, and they're going to cleave on to us, and they're going to be our possession. We're going to own them. Okay? They're going to be handmaids and slaves. They're going to serve us. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 2. And the people should take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel should possess them. See, we're going to possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they should take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay, you see that? And it should come to pass in that day. It should come to pass in the day that the Lord, Salakia, should give thee rest for thy sorrow and for thy fear, and from the hard bondage, all the suffering we went through, persecution, from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressor ceased the golden city cease. All right, Babylon, America, that great city, New York, okay, New York City, great Babylon. And I explained about New York. How's that great city, Babylon? The first part, and then some other lessons. Now let's go to Isaiah. So they're going to serve us. Chapter 11. Let's start with verse 11. Where we at? And it should come to pass in that day. And it should come to pass in that day, the Lord should set his hand against, the Lord should set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. Let me see. I can't get that word. Of his people. Okay, let's get it again. Salakia. And it should come to pass in that day that the Lord should set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which should be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from the Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shilar and from Hyeth and from the islands of the sea. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And he should be set up and designed from the... See, I can't read it. It's dark. Oh, man, I hate when it does that. And he should set up and design for the nations and should assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Okay? The outcasts of Israel, Salakia, and gather together dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. All right? So he's going to gather us together. And going to part 1. Let me read part 1. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. And there should come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse. Jesse is the father of David. And a branch should grow out of his roots. That's the Son of Man coming out of the root of David. That's sitting on the throne of David. Okay? And the Spirit of the Lord should rest again. The Spirit of the Lord should rest upon him, Salakia. The Spirit of wisdom and understanding. The Spirit of counsel and might. The Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. Salakia. For some reason this light, I can't really read it, but that's